Ancient Greece is the cradle of civilization, where ideas that changed the world were born. Philosophers pondered the essence of existence, sculptors immortalized gods in marble, and poets sang of passion and love, not shying away from their most secret desires. Where Eros ruled hearts, sex was not just a biological act, it was art, a cult, a whole philosophy of life. By the way, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This motivates to create even more exciting stories. The ancient Greeks were not afraid of their nature, they explored it, lived it, enjoyed it. Same-sex relationships, especially between men, were considered not just permissible, they were noble. Mentoring between an adult warrior and a young man turned into a real school of life, where they taught not only military skill or the art of eloquence, but also passion, loyalty, and honor. The gods themselves blessed such love, because who else knew that true strength is born where there is a union of souls and bodies? The Greeks had no complexes about their physicality. On the contrary, they perceived the body as a temple and pleasure as a divine gift. Self-satisfaction? This was not just the norm, but evidence that a person knows himself, seeks harmony between body and mind. Even the philosopher Diogenes, known for his audacity, could afford open pleasure, and no one condemned him. "Oh, if only hunger could be satisfied just as easily!" he exclaimed, causing shock and laughter at the same time. The world where men ruled dictated its cruel rules. Slaves had no rights, only duties. And one of them was complete submission to the master, even in bed. Rape was not considered a crime if the victim was not a citizen. Women born into higher families had to endure the whims of their husbands, because such was their fate. Horrible? Undoubtedly. But this was exactly what a world looked like, where law and morality were the privilege of the strong. The Greeks were free from false shame. Nudity was the norm. Whether in the stadiums during the Olympic Games or in art, the human body was celebrated, glorified, and deified. They saw in it perfection, harmony, the very embodiment of divine beauty. They did not hide their desires, but spoke openly about them. No one turned a blind eye to sex, because it was everywhere. In the ancient Greek world, impotence was considered not only a misfortune, but also a real curse. No man could afford such a disgrace. Therefore, magical rites, exotic herbs, aphrodisiacs came to the rescue. Honey, dates, wine with herbs, even ritual sacrifices to the gods, everything to return male power. Those who despaired turned to the priestesses of Aphrodite, and these goddesses of love knew how to kindle the dying fire of passion. Prostitution was not just commonplace, but almost sacred. Heteras, not just women for pleasure, but real muses for philosophers and artists. They were respected, envied, adored. They were educated, witty, desired. And simple prostitutes, pornai, worked in specially designated places, paying taxes to the state. Sex was part of the economy, part of culture, part of life itself. Laughter is a weapon, and the Greeks owned it perfectly. Aristophanes' comedies contain such obscene jokes that a modern viewer would blush. Nothing sacred, just sharp, frank, sometimes even rude ridicule of human weaknesses, desires, and vices. Everything is permitted, because what could be funnier than what bothers everyone? A kiss is not just a gesture. It was an act of higher unity, a special sign of trust. It could be friendly, tender, passionate. Some believed that through a kiss people exchange parts of their souls. And others that it was just a prelude to something greater. But one thing was clear, a kiss had power, a power that could drive one crazy. The Greeks did not just love, they knew love in all its forms. They distinguished between eros, ardent, passionate desire, philia, brotherly, friendly love, agape, selfless, divine devotion, storge, the tender affection that lives in families. Love was multifaceted, changeable, alive, and each of its facets had its place in the great mosaic of life. Ancient Greece, a world where sex was omnipresent, where it permeated every sphere of life. From temples to theaters, from bedrooms to battlefields, it was there, it determined destinies, it was as powerful as the wind that fills the sails of ships. It was a society that knew no shame, that honored the body and desire, that made love and sex part of its immortal heritage. And what do you think about such openness in culture? Share your thoughts in the comments, it will be interesting to discuss.